Okay guys, and this is the last tutorial um, to show you. What we're going to do with this one is we're going to combine all our layers. Now, when you combine all your layers, you will not be able to go back. So what I like to do is, since I've already saved this as Animal Cartoon, I like to just go ahead and go save as, and then I just create a second file. It's like the same file in essence, and you'll do this a lot as an artist, especially when you're working with digital artwork. You can have different variations. So a lot of times I have like one and then two and then three, and then I'll have my final. And so today I'm going to call this one Animal Cartoon 2. And I make sure that I put that 2 in front of the dot, and then my file extension is PSD, which stands for Photoshop. Okay? So this is always really important that you have the right file extension. If we were to change our file extension, we would change it down here and see how it changes our file extension. This would be a file that we can upload to the internet, and this would be a file that would be read by Photoshop and have layers and things like that. Okay? So we're going to keep it as a Photoshop document. Save. Okay. So this is my new file. And I made it new because I'm not going to be able to undo the changes that I make. So we're going to go to Layer, and we're just going to do Merge Visible. And so everything that we have, our background, our foreground, everything is on the same layer. All right. And what I'm going to do is I imagine I have this light source that's kind of behind my dog, back here where the sun is. And so now I need to create highlights and shadows on my dog. And we do that in photography. I know this isn't photography, but we're going to use some photography tools for that. And Dodge is a tool that will make your image lighter, and then Burn is a tool that will make it darker. And you got to think of like burnt toast. Burning will make it darker. Okay? So grab my Burn tool, and I have it on highlights, which I only have a couple highlights. I have the white, and then I have a lot of midtones. So I'm going to put it at midtones, and I'm going to have it at 50% exposure, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and I'm going to do some burning. And one of the things, like that down here, this part of the face is going to have a little bit of a burn to it. This side of the face is going to probably be a little bit darker.
Kelly ordered pencils for me. You guys.
So this whole side of his head is probably going to be a little bit darker due to the sun being on the other side. However, you know, this part will probably be a little bit lighter, and this part of his ear is going to be a little bit darker. This probably part of the front of his ear right there will probably be a little bit darker. Underneath the chin area, you know, just like on a human, that chin hanging over the body is going to create a shadow. So I want to do some burning there. And I'll tell you what, I really think these marks I'm making are a little clunky and I don't like them. So I'm going to backstep, which is Command-Alt-Z. And I'm going to change my exposure to 25% because it, like I said, I just feel like it's a little bit clunky. So I'm going to give it another shot. That's a little bit better. See how it's a lot lighter? All right. And I can go back and make this darker by going over it a couple of times. So it's a little bit darker there. And this side of the dog is going to be much darker because the sun is on the other side. And all it's doing is taking the pixels that are already there and just making them a little bit darker so that you can use your existing colors to create those highlights and shadows. Okay, so what if you want to make this white part darker? Well, you're going to have to go up here and change your range to highlights because this is a lighter area, and so you can make that darker there. And if you want to make, let's say, the nose darker, that you would have to do it there. Obviously, this is not going to work with this nose because it is black. But what we could do is we could put a highlight on the nose. So when we do highlights, we're going to do the dodge tool, which is going to make it lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and dodge that there. And I might take this up a little bit more, change this to shadows. It wasn't working. Take it up a little bit more. And it might just be because it's black, it just does not want to change. All right, we're going to go to midtones, take our exposure down a little bit, give us some highlights. Oops. Switch tools on accident. All right. Get some highlights around the edges because that sun is behind the dog. Alright, so it's starting to come to life, and what happens is when you use dodging and burning, you are giving it some three-dimensionality. So you're making it look three-dimensional, which is very cool. And highlights and shadows do that. It makes things look rounder. Alright, so that's just dodging and burning. And then I want you guys to just go ahead and save that. And that's it. You should be done. If you are done, you can go to the home page of our website and check out how to make a website. There's tutorials, there's other examples of websites, and you can start your own website. You want to do the free version, which will be just like ours. It'll be, whatever you name it, .weebly.com, and it just asks you not to use both your first and last name anywhere on the site. So if you want to use your first name, you can, but if you do use your first name, make sure not to use your last name anywhere in your title or your website. Okay, thanks.